What's up, guys? You got PKS Young Lattery here. I'm going to be doing a team analysis breakdown for the Wolf Division solo. I thought I was actually going to have the most people for this one, but nobody's around. I think everyone just got done watching the Super Bowl. Got to go to bed. Best part of that game was Mike Tyson calling Americans fudgy and basically telling us to get our collective shit together. So fucking funny. And somebody just messaged me, actually. Yeah, no, it's not related to this. Okay. So, it's just me. We're going to start with Richard's team. Right off rip, you can see he's going for, like, abuse of electric terrain with Coco plus Valiant, which is really strong. Valiant, really difficult Pokemon to prep for because it can be mixed on the physical and special side. Gets access to different kinds of setup. I mean, it gets utility, it gets, like, Encore, Debond, all that kind of stuff. It's just a really good Pokemon. And then he goes for Orlando I, which again, lots of mixed attack. Gives him both a ground immune and an electric immune. HP Ice is a thing, which kind of hinders it in this, but it's still really strong. Alomola is literally just like the most brain dead wall, but like this is the most uninteractive Pokemon ever to exist. You just bring it out on anything because nothing one-shots this thing, and then you just flip turn out into whatever you want. Goodra H, good Spadef wall, hits reasonably hard, good typing, synergizes well with the fairies because you got your steel and your dragon in one, so that's pretty cool. Tyranitar pairs with Houndstone, I get it, sand abuse. And then Azelf gives you just like another thing off the ground. Fast, strong setup, utility, good Pokemon all around. A little frail, but I mean, you've got Mola, Goodra, T-Tar, Houndstone, and then like Arcanine. Like Arcanine's a Pokemon that can overlap like different roles. It can do like whatever it wants, kind of. You can run CB, you can run special attack. Honestly, this whole team is very mixed attack oriented, but it can also be a defensive pivot with intimidation. Or Intimidate, Teleport, Morning Sun, all that annoying stuff. Wisp. Leafeon, I'm not really sure what Leafeon's doing here, other than just being like an Earthquake resist, like a ground resist on top of having Lando plus Azelf, which I guess that makes sense. Typically you'd see this more on like a Sun team, but it works synergistically wise. I would give this team like a A minus. I mean, it's hard to give it a low rating, right? Because it's got like so many hard-hitting mixed attackers and then like really, really good bulk too. Really good type synergy. It's got like a little bit of a weather abuse thing going on too if it wants. So hits all my check marks, to be honest. Like for like what a good draft team is. Although, it could do with some spikes, I guess. But whatever. That's like I'm nitpicking at that point. CJ. Zama, Mega Diancie, Hydreigon. So he went Dragon Fairy, Fighting Dark, which is all pretty strong right off the rip. I love Mega Diancie. It's one of my favorite Megas of all time. Because it's one of those things that just comes in and hits hard and is reasonably fast. The only thing I don't like is that it's for draft, and having like such a high point Pokemon be item locked is a little annoying, but I get it. Like it's still so good, so like I give that a pass honestly for this Pokemon. You also get a water resist with Hydreigon. It pairs well with the Diancie too. Rillaboom, really strong Pokemon, gets access to U-turn in conjunction with Hydreigon, so you get like a little bit of like a Volt Turn core going on with the Moltres as well, actually, if you want. Also the terrain weakens Earthquake, so it kind of helps out the Reverum a lot. Forces Monster Tech on things like high horsepower and stuff if they want to hit it without being like weakened. Jellicent, I mean, he just gets a fire, water, grass, steel, fairy, dragon, fighting, dark, and then here's a psychic type right here. So he's just like all the typical cores like he's got on lock. He's got the EQ immune. He's got the electric immune. Fast spikes. He's got removal, multiple forms of removal with Tidy Up that kind of also pairs well with Cinccino's like it just has skill link, so it sets up, clears hazard, hits hard. I think this thing gets spin too. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to double check. Hydreigon does get defog. And then Moltres gets defog. He's got like a lot of removal options, a lot of bulk, a lot of offense. I see the vision. Strong team. I'd give this like an A, honestly. My boy Lucas. Let's see. Starting out with Gouge and Fire is like a hard ass move, dude. That's that Uber for a reason. Very strong Pokemon. Great offensive and defensive typing, honestly, because like you're Fire, so Fairy is neutral now. It's really cool. Tapu Lele, great Pokemon. Sets terrain. He's got the Sneasler with it, so it can abuse the Unburden. Very scary offensive Pokemon. Corviknight and Hippo. That's a pretty solid defensive core, because Corviknight is weak to electric attacks, so you got Hippo there to complement it. It kind of helps out the Milotic as well. Sableye, yeah, I get it, because you get the screens plus this plus what? Screens plus what? Gouge Fire, Tapu Lele. Corviknight can run like weird stuff like Power Trip sets or Bulk Up sets. I'd maybe want to see a little bit more setup potential on the team to warrant the Sableye. It seems just a little bit out of place, but still good. Chansey, I don't really need to talk about Chansey. It's an obstacle. It's a little bit easier to take advantage of in draft, just because you know it's most likely coming. So you can run things like mixed attackers, or you can run like you can HP invest enough to use like substitute on Pokemon that typically wouldn't invest in that, just so Seismic Toss doesn't break, and now this thing's just like setup fodder. Jolteon is like a Z captain. I think that's really good because it's fast, it's strong, it's get decent coverage. I don't know what the hell Jumpluff's doing here. I guess it's just 1 point. Gives you another thing off the ground. Yeah, I give this team like an A also. Honestly, all these teams look really good so far. I think this is the most impressive division in terms of like raw talent, and also just like how they drafted. I think this is probably the most shark infested bracket. Again, Ross, another amazing player. He's more of like a sophisticated Pokemon robot. Like he just does the math, and he's good at that kind of play style. Team wise, it's a little unorthodox, but typical for him. Like I've seen him run like Hands, Dozo. I think I've seen him use Chi-Yu before too, actually. And Sandaconda, he'll run. I don't want to give away like his playstyle too much, because like if other people watch this, I don't want them to like, I don't want to like cost him surprise effects or surprise. I don't want to cost him the element of surprise, but he's known to bring some like wacky Helga Pataki shit. Synergistically, you've got the Dark and the Fighting here, and then is there a Psychic? I think Weirdeer's a Psychic. I think. And then you've got Dragon, Fairy, who's a Steel type. Bronzong, so it's also off the ground, which is great because most Steel types are weak to ground attacks. Complemented by Torn, so he really built this team knowing he had to cover that. Torn's another really good Pokemon. It's 19 points, but it kind of can do anything. You can run AV, Boots, Helmet, Life Orb Nasty Plot, or Belt Nasty Plot. Gets fast U-turns. Sandaconda, I think, is a steal for 5 points. It's really bulky. Gets Glare, Rocks, Coil. Bouffalant is something I was talking to Ross about like during the drafting process, actually. This thing, I didn't realize how bulky and how strong it is. The only stat that's lacking for it is speed. But if you're running like a Future Sight, Chili, Reception, which is what I'm running, Bouffalant would have paired really well with my team, or any team that has like a Slowking, Slowbro type of thing. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but I was actually looking at this Pokemon too. So Ross's team, I think, at a first glance, it might not seem quite as broken as some of these other teams, but Um, I don't know. I think he's got all his bases covered. Like, he's got his removal, he's got his type synergies, he's got his breakers, he's got his bulk, he's got his immunities. Yeah, it looks like an annoying team, you know, like to break through and to deal with from an offensive perspective. I'm gonna give this one an A as well. I really like it. I think it fits him as a player. I think it's strong in general. Moving on, this is my boy Logan. Logan felt like he had like a bad position draft-wise, and I think he did make the best of his positioning. I actually helped him with this a little bit. Ceruledge is one of those things that can just pop off and snowball wins pretty easily. So he started with a threat, and then G-King just, I mean, we all know what it does. It's a fat wall. It complements Gliscor as well, because this is weak to ground, and then Gliscor can kind of come in and deal with that for that. U-turn plus Chili. The 10-point Z-Captain. This Pokemon is extremely underrated. I saw this thing like break entire defensive cores on its own just because it has technically perfect coverage with electric and ice, and it's a Z, so it can nuke things. It's got, I think it's like 135 base special attack, and it gets that ability that if your Spadef is higher than your regular defense, it boosts for free for no reason. And if you don't want to rely on that, it gets analytic too, I think, or adaptability or something crazy. Mienshao is just it's a double regen core with pivot. Kartana is one of those things that can also snowball wins on the physical side, with band or scarf or SD, something like that. Murkrow, little goat with prankster, haze, tailwind, all that kind of stuff. Defog, I think it gets defog. Dragonite, another really good. I'm just gonna close Facebook, so that's not. Hold on. That's not letting me close it. Okay, just ignore it. Dragonite, another really good draft Pokemon because it can be extremely versatile. It's a good water resist. It can be offensive or defensive. Golem, I love Golem because for 2 points, how can you not love it? It's got really good attack, really good defense, great ability, hazards, priority. Just a really for 2 points, it's just you can't go wrong with Golem. Cloyster is one of those things that pairs well with the next Pokemon, which is Ribombee, because this thing can run screens, it can run webs. I think webs plus Ceruledge is particularly nasty, because this thing isn't like super fast, but it's also not super slow. But if you've got webs, you don't have to necessarily rely on the weak armor proc. You can just kind of like go ham without it. I think this team is versatile. I think it's got a really good like defensive backbone mixed with a lot of strong offense, versatile offense. So yeah, it's got pivot, it's got future sight, it's got a lot of stuff going for it. I'd give this team like an A minus, maybe a B plus, just because I don't think it's quite as good. Like if I didn't have these teams next to it to compare, I probably would just say it's an A minus or an A. But I do think it's a little bit less good than some of these other teams. I'll give it like a B plus. Anders. So this is interesting because Anders gave me his picks. He wanted Annihilate and Kiss, and then he said just get whatever good steel type. If I'm asleep, just whatever's on the board that's a good steel type. And I grabbed him Mega Scizor, and he woke up and he was so happy because he's been wanting to use this Pokemon, and it is a really strong Pokemon. Only downside again is item lock, but I think this is one of those ones that you can kind of get away with it. He's got the Steel plus Fairy, his Dragon with Hydrapple, so he's got like the double regen core, which is really strong. Not a team that is lacking in speed, with Regieleki and Weavile, very strong. He's got a lot of hard hitting like bulky stuff. He's got speed, he's got regen. Ursula Blood Moon is a literal Uber. This thing's crazy. He can run screens offense, he can run like a balance offense. I don't know. I think, where would I rate this team? It's hard to say. It's a little bit awkward. I can't quite put my finger on why. it just feels like there's something, like my gut is telling me I'm missing something. Like there's like some common issue here. I mean, I guess like it's weak to freeze dry, but like so is every team. So I don't know. I can't really fault it for that. Like I'm looking at this team. I'm looking at Kyurem. I feel like Kyurem would like eat this team alive, kind of. But like Kyurem eats every team alive, so I can't really dock it points for that. I'll give it a B+. Christian Perez. I haven't even looked at this guy's team at all yet, so this is my first time seeing it. I know Urshifu Single Strike is broken, because I was looking at the board in reference to it, trying to see like what could potentially wall CB set, and there's nothing. Like this thing 2-codes the entire meta. It's legit broken. If it was any faster, I feel like it would have to be banned. But it's just slow enough to the point where you can like offensively check it. But if you're looking for a reliable switch in, you're gonna have to guess. You know, like it's really just like there is nothing that safe. Landorus, I mean, I don't really need to talk about Landorus. We all know one of the best Pokemon ever made. Mega Mawile, you get your Fairy and your Steel all in one. It's a little bit slow, but it's strong as shit. And it has priority, so I mean that's a great Pokemon as well. Superior, reasonably fast, contrary, can snowball winds. I kind of disagree. The only thing I would say is maybe make this year's Z Captain. I don't really like Goodra as the Z Captain, but that's just like a preference thing. I prefer my Z Pokemon to be my offensive Pokemon. Iron Boulder, huge threat. Yeah, just another Pokemon that can snowball winds. The Coffin is annoying as shit to break through. Helps with like the broken fighting types like Zamazenta and all that. Tapu Fini, I didn't know you had Tapu Fini. This is my favorite Pokemon in competitive ever. I actually wanted it, but it went before Valiant. So I'm gonna give you an A+++++, like literally just because Fini is my favorite. And you have like so many broken Pokemon. I think at the end though, this is a little weird. The Electivire Glaceon, I'm not sure what that's about. Let's see. Double Fairy, Steel. Is there there's no dragon? Oh no, there is a dragon. There's Goodra. Let's see. Grass, water, no fire type, psychic, fighting. I would probably get rid of these and get some fire and some dark going on just to finish off the synergies, like the type core synergies maybe. Especially, I just don't understand what they're doing here. It's a team that looks like it can run like a really strong balance. Yeah, I mean he's got access to like, you know, a couple of pivot moves, good bulk, good breakers on both sides, good versatility. In reality, I'd probably give it like an A- just because I don't know what the hell is going on here. But strong team nonetheless. Dylan. Oh, this is the person that I played for third last season. By the way, I forgot his name. Because it was like 7 months, and I hadn't talked to him or thought about the draft at the time. But this is the guy I was talking about. He's a good battler, really good battler, really smart, drafts well. He went a little bit different than everyone else. He went Psychic Dark Fighting, which I respect that. He got himself one of the best special attackers ever. Legitimately broken Pokemon. Meow, which, I mean, its ability in draft is fantastic. It can be whatever it wants to be. Great Tusk, another extremely versatile Pokemon. You get your ground type. I don't think you need broken ground type in draft, but it's not bad to have either. Spectrier, I am not the biggest fan of in draft. I get it because its ability is so good and it's fast and like strong and stuff. kind of like a late game cleaner type. But I think it's a little bit redundant with the Zam because they share the dark weakness and they also kind of fill a similar role. For 20 points, bro, I would consider maybe looking at that. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad Pokemon. I just think it's a little redundant and you're kind of creating a dark weak there. And for 20, yeah, that's just a lot of points to spend on Pokemon with shared weakness, I feel. Rotom Wash, staple, you know? Like, you don't know what to do in a game, lead Rotom. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be fine. Not that you should be brainlessly doing it, but it's one of those things that you could do that and get away with it. You get your Earthquake immune, slow pivot, all kinds of status. It can set up, too. Nihilego can snowball wins. These two have that in common. They can just kind of come in, click button, and potentially snowball wins. So very aggressive, very offensive team. Tinkaton, amazing utility Pokemon. Can also be offensive with SD. Not slow either. I think it's like 317 or something like that. Which is pretty quick. Gets all kinds of stuff. Encore, Stealth Rock, T-Wave, annoying. Just annoying Pokemon. Braviary, another off-the-ground mon. I don't know how good Braviary is as a Z-Captain. And I'm not saying that, I'm not calling it into question because I feel like it isn't. I just truly don't know. And I'm not going to... even if it's... I don't know. I'm not going to hate on it. America, let's go. Munchlax for 1 point. Hell yeah, brother. Like, I don't know. I feel like team mascot right there. I'd give this team like a B or B plus, I guess. I think he could make it stronger, but I think it's a good foundation. Okay, Jaden is a player that I'm a little bit familiar with. He's friends with some of my friends. Really strong battler. He built well. Terapagos, his ability is just broken. It can spin, special attack, Calm Mind. Zera plus Chomp. So, I mean, he does not have to sweat Volt Switches ever, which helps his Empoleon. Both of these Pokemon are capable of like setting up and sweeping entire games, but Garchomp is a little bit more versatile. Actually, they're both versatile in a sense. Like, this can be defensive. This can be offensive on both ends of the spectrum, though. So, I have a soft spot for Zera. I love Zeraora because I've won so many games with this Pokemon in Gen 8 in tournament on ladder. I literally got first on the Gen 8 ladder with Zeraora. So, I mean, yeah, I've never used it in draft because I've never been of the mindset that electric types are like a priority, and I haven't been able to get past that, like spending the points on it. But you know, it is really good, so maybe I'll try it sometime. Empoleon is the only Pokemon that has water and steel typing, so very unique. You get a slow flip turn, you get a good ability. So if you're dealing with like a Webs team, it can kind of work against your opponent because you get a +2 special attack, and it's reasonably strong. Very bulky, gets Roost. Mega Venusaur, I love Mega Venusaur. I really, really love Mega Venusaur. I've been laddering with this guy a lot. Very bulky, very strong. Breaks up a lot of common cores. Sleeper pick. Like, honestly, like, I know it's item locked, but I don't really care because I have, again, like, he's just drafted a lot of Pokemon that I like personally. I'm trying not to be biased, but it's difficult. From like an unbiased perspective, though, I mean, you get your poison, your grounded poison, so T-spikes aren't a thing. You complement your Emp. You add bulk as well as adding like special attack, and honestly, its attack stat I think is like 100, so it's not even terrible. You can run mixed. Lots of mixed. Chomp can do that too. Like in certain situations, you can bait in things that would typically come in like a Slowbro, right? You can click like Draco Meteor, and then right after that you can Earthquake. It actually kills Slowbro. So lots of potential for mixed attack here. Mimikyu for your Fairy Steel Dragon. Fire, Water, Grass. Dark with Emp. Not Emp, I'm sorry, Umbreon. Golisopod and Fennekin. I think he just likes Fennekin. I don't think he's actually ever going to bring that. If he does, then GOAT. But yeah, Mimikyu is a Z-Capt, and I like it. Never-Ending Nightmare, very like big nuke button. Annoying ability. You have to break it in order to actually hit it. So I like this team a lot. Like for me, in my soul, I'd give it like an A+, but in reality, I'd probably give it like a, I don't know, like unbiased, like maybe like an A-, like B+, A-, I guess. Just because, I don't know, I think the Fennekin is kind of a waste of a slot. I'm not a huge fan of Talonflame. I mean, I've done work with it in like lower tier metas. I don't think it's like the best. Just because if you get knocked, you're eating rocks for days, and I don't know. It's not bad. It's just not the best. Cause like it's not. I don't know. It's also it's your only thing that's off the ground, which sucks because most ground types get rock moves. So that I feel like that's why I'm holding back from giving this team like a solid A. Is like Fennekin's kind of feels like a wasted spot. Talonflame is your only ground immune I don't really like. Especially because your grass type is neutral, because poison's weak to ground, and your Emp is weak to ground, and Zeraora is weak to ground. So it's like, I don't know. If he would do something with this Fennekin and this Talon, I'd probably give it like a solid A+, but I'm gonna go with like a B+ for now, I guess. Kenny G, Dragapult, amazing Pokemon. Can be special, can be physical, can be utility, momentum. Like, it can really do whatever it wants. It's worth the 20 points, in my opinion. DD sets can literally win games. Specs, really strong. Wisp Hex is really strong. People keep talking about screens, Pult, which I've, you know, I don't know. It feels like a little bit of a waste, but I get it. Like, sometimes it can work. Let's see. Ting-Lu pairs really well with Pult, obviously, because it's not weak to dark type moves, and they complement each other in that sense, because like this is weak to fighting, this is immune to fighting, so I like that pairing a lot. Celesteela again pairs really well with these two because it's off the ground, Steel plus Dragon, can be defensive, can be offensive. Slowking, another one of those Pokemon where it's just the pivot is so strong, which I feel like he needs, and it works well with Pult, aside from the double Dark Week, which Ting-Lu helps with. Future Sight into Pult and Kyurem. Chilly Reception with Kyurem is really good because you get a little bit of a defense boost. I've used Kyurem so much in draft. I've had a lot of success with it. I love it. Really difficult to prep for. Mixed attacking Pokemon. Decent speed tier. These two together, really solid. Jirachi, I mean, 100 base stat in every stat. Can't go wrong there. I will say there's a little bit of a dark weakness happening. So you're kind of putting it a lot on Ting-Lu to sponge dark moves. So if you're going up against something like a Weavile, for example, you're probably going to get cooked because Ice will fuck up Ting. Neutral on this, dark weak here, low kick here, knockoff. So I just keep an eye on stuff like that. But yeah, Wheezing, good defensive wall, not much to say about it. Utility, Wisp. Sometimes I've seen spec sets which are like, okay, this is one of the best Z Captains that you can possibly get out of the 10-point tier. I looked at it a little bit. It's just so strong. In conjunction with Future Sight, really, really strong, because like CC into Future Sight get fucked. I see that. I see the vision. Kamala for 3 points is insane. It's one of the best spinners. It's a ghost immune U-turn knockoff. Charge Bug, I don't know why. What does this thing get? Webs probably is why you'd have this. It must. But yeah, I'd give this team like an A. A little bit of a dark week, but you could patch that up. Adam Nelson, this team seems like all over the place to me. I'm not the biggest fan of Bundle because like I understand that it technically doesn't have defensive counters from a typing perspective, but it has to hit its moves and it's kind of frail. Ogerpon, Hearthflame, it's one of those mons that can just do work despite being item locked, but I don't know. I don't know. You get water and fire, which is good, and grass, so I get that. It's strong. These are two strong Pokemon. Iron Treads, very versatile. Gives you spin, gives you Volt Switch, gives you knockoff, gives you Earthquake spam. Clefable, one of the most, you see this Pokemon throughout every generation of competitive mons. It's always going to be good just because of how customizable its EVs can be from a defensive standpoint, and it can also win games from an offensive standpoint once you typically have to clear, one or two things to set the conditions. But Calm Mind Clef is always going to be strong, Bolt Beam strong, great abilities, Unaware, Magic Guard, not a whole lot to, it's a great Pokemon. Zoroark H, I think this Pokemon doesn't get enough respect. I laddered with that Pokemon really high, and the way that the reason I think people overlook it is because they don't know how to play with it. They lead with it, and then it won't work out, and they're like, this Pokemon sucks. Don't lead with it. If you play like a mid game with it, I feel like it's the best, because that's when you can really start breaking down defensive cores. With the mix-up, everyone expects you to lead with it. Iron Jugulus, I don't know a lot about this Pokemon. This is fake Hydreigon to me. I know it's got a really good special attack stat, decent speed stat. I don't hate it. Pairs well with the Zoroark, I guess. Pincurchin, I guess the terrain for the Quark Drive on Bundle, so I get it. You get spikes. It's got some cool moves like Scald and stuff. Garg. Garg is really good. I don't like it for draft though. 2 reasons. 1, we're not running Terra, so it's immediately less good. 2, Covert Cloak exists, so you see Garg, you just pick a designated Covert Cloaker, and now Salt Cure doesn't matter at all. Masquerain Webs, pairs well with the Hearthflame and the bundle, I guess. Not so much the bundle, it doesn't need it, but Hearthflame, really good. Wugtrio, kind of a poopy Pokemon, if I'm being honest. Ariados. Wait, they both get webs? Why'd you get 2 webbers? It's a little confusing. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd give this team like a B-. Like, it's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best. Avdo, this dude has I've seen some of his replays. He's really strong player. And I like his team. However, I do see a glaring weakness off rip, which is fighting. Like, you got Moon, Samurott H, and Melmetal all weak to fighting. But then you've got the Sinistcha, Little Goat, and you got Zap to help with that. So it's not too bad, but I don't know. It's a little scary, like, especially with CC being so common. But outside of that, you get your Dragon, your Steel, your Fairy. Primarina is very, very difficult to switch into, because, Water and Fairy are 2 of the best offensive typings in the game. It also has access to Flip Turn, so you could go into things like, Banded Melmetal or Roaring Moon or whatever. You've got the H-Sam, or the Hammerot, Ceaseless Edge into Sinistcha to spin block, which is really cool. Sceptile is a Z, I like it a lot. It can be physical or special. Also for 4 points, what a steal. Not crazy with a... well, it's fine, because you get heat proof on this guy, so it's not that bad, actually. I was going to say not crazy about the double grass, but it's fine. Donphan, one of the best ground types. For, 12 points, you can't really go wrong. Iron Moth can really snowball wins pretty easily if it gets enough Fire Dance boosts. So you get the Fire Water Grass, you get the Dragon Steel Fairy, you got the Dark, and then you don't have the Psychic or the Fighting, but I'm not gonna... I'm not a stickler for you have to have all 3, defensive cores or whatever, or synergy cores. But yeah, I would just say watch out for the fighting moves. Other than that, strong team. I'll give it I don't know, B+. Yeah. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled. The next video is going to be highlights. We're going to pick the best games from week 1, and we're going to talk about them. Have a good one.